Welcome back, everyone, to Up to Time. Today we have a big topic we want to discuss. We want to discuss building section and building elevation. What does the term building section mean? Let's come over here and have a look. A section is drawn from a vertical plane slicing through a building. This is as if you cut through a space vertically and stood directly in front looking straight at it. Sections are a common design drawing and technical architectural engineering convention for a graphic representation of architecture. What is the purpose of a building section? The purpose of a section is to show graphically the main volumes of the building and the main building material components. Notes and dimension lines are attached to the section cuts. The key to producing a useful section is to cut through the most typical building volumes. What does the term building elevation mean? In the construction industry, the term elevation refers to an orthographic projection of the exterior or sometimes the interior faces of a building. That is a two-dimensional drawing of the building's facade. What is the purpose of a building elevation? As buildings are really simple rectangular shapes in plan, an elevation drawing is a first angle projection that shows all parts of the building as seen from a particular direction with the perspective flattened. Generally, elevations are produced for four directional views. For example, north, south, east, and west. I want to also add that elevations are useful for gaining the heights of a building. So today, we're going to look at some examples now of some building elevations and some building sections. Let's first look at this one. This is a building elevation. How can you tell the difference between a building elevation and a building section? So the first thing is we can see the trees. So the trees tell us that we're on the outside. So, that's the X outside. So this is the elevation. Also, you can see people. People can be on the inside, but they're on the outside. And you can see the building material. And you can also see the shadows. And this just generally looks like the outside of a building. All right. So here's how you would enter this building. And it has a balcony, a few balconies. They have different size windows. That's one thing you can gain from this. But it's a nice presentation of the south facade and the north facade of a building. From this, you can possibly count how many stories this has. On now to the next one. This is another elevation. But this one is quite interesting. Have a look. Let's focus here on this area. It is an elevation, but you can see from this elevation that it has an underground. There's an underground area. But at points, while looking at it, it looks like it's cutting through the material, and this is in section here. But it's an elevation. Now, let us move on to another drawing. Yeah, this is an elevation. Again, one thing I like about this is that it has the different heights, or it's making a reference to the heights. It has some notes, right? And it's showing the human scale. And it also shows the side of which the doors hinge on, which is on this side and that side. This one will be on this side and that side. That's where the hinge is. This one isn't shown. The cafe door isn't shown. But generally, this is a good presentation, elevation drawing. Now, this is a section. Let's look at this section. And we can see this is the foundation. So down here, these are the foundation level, the substructure. The roof connections here, how the walls and the roofs meet. Then you can see this interesting note here, which I want everyone to see. Ensure 6 feet 8 inches headroom over stairs. So that means when you get off the stairs, the distance to there must be at least 6 feet 8 inches so that you can stand up, right? So all of this information you can tell from looking at these set of drawings. The section is sliced through the building, so vertical slice, but you have to stand and look through the building. So in the section, you can see the interior stairs. Yeah. Whereas you wouldn't be able to see this in an elevation. Elevation, you will see the outside of the building. All right. You see this here. This is a detail. This reference is a detail. So perhaps after drawing the section, the person will come back and increase the size of this detail so that when you're reading this detail, you can see the information clearer. All right. Whenever you see this, that means that these would be little study details, sectional details to study at a larger scale, because the information here is too small for one to clearly understand fully what's going on at these connections. Note, you can see the heights. And one thing about sections and elevations, we are only interested in heights. Heights. Right? Nothing more. We have just looked at some examples of building sections and building elevations. But we're going to start getting into our task. What is our task for today? Our task for today is to produce a section here from our cottage floor plan. Now we are going to go back at this same project and we're going to generate the section and 2 elevations. Just reviewing, here are the plans, right here at the top, plans. And now today we're going to generate 2 elevations. So we're going to generate this building elevation, which I'll call building elevation 1. And we would do building elevation 2. Because it has 2 different size windows. So this will make it interesting. Right? And we are going to do a section. Now we're going to draw a section, but what we are going to do is we're going to be focusing on just this area here. So just this area that my blue highlighter is over, that's what we're going to be producing. So we're going to be producing a section detail of this area. But before we get into that, let's go over to the 3D model. So this is the 3D model of the cottage. Right now, I have it open at the area we're going to be studying. And let's look at this area here. So I'm rotating it so that you can get a good understanding of what's going on. Actually going to hide this area. So it's right now not active. Let's have a look. Now if you want to look at this in a pure elevation without the perspective, this is how it will look like. This is how it would appear. Right? So we are going to be producing this elevation today. This elevation. This is the second elevation we're going to be producing. And then we're going to also be producing this building section. We turn on the cut. All right. So let's go over now and read our specifications, because I think this is going to be interesting to giving us some information as to how we're going to cite some materials. Y'all remember we had, this is what I started off using, and this is an assignment that I got from Mr. Troy Phillips. He produced a series of building drawing material with some exercises that are very useful. Right. So when looking back at Mr. Troy Phillips's work, I recognize that he didn't ask the student to produce a section. It asked the student to produce two elevations that show the small concrete stairs. So if you look at this here, this is what I'm reading. Draw the two elevations that show the small concrete stairs. And in his material, he gave us an idea of what the elevations would look like. Right? Now, the next thing he asks for is draw the outline of the shape, the roof. This was done already. Each joint is to be placed on an individual A3 sheet, with each sheet numbered and the title and scale indicated. But here are his specifications. So let's look at these specifications and get a better understanding of them, right? It says here all walls. So I'm just going to highlight where I'm going to be focusing. It says here all walls are 150 millimeter concrete blocks and 2,700 millimeter high. Okay, so this is a piece of information that we need, because this gives me a height. This gives me a height, right? Internal doors, 750 mil wide and 2,100 high. Another useful piece of information. This gives me a height. External door, 900 mil wide and 2,100 millimeter high. This gives me another height. Bathroom windows, 600 mil wide and 600 mil high. Gives me another height. All window sizes are specified on the drawing. The head/top of all windows is 2,100 millimeter above the floor level. So this gives me some good information. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heights that I'm going to need when building my elevations, and also when going on to build my section. Now let's look at what else was given. These are the elevations here. And what the question asks is to build the elevations with the stairs. So that means you're going to be building this elevation. We're going to look at the elevation and let us break this down. What is the key information that I need to start off? I need my ground level. So this is what I need, my ground level. Then I need my finished floor level, which is coming in at 600. Right? Can you do this? Right there at 600. That's my finished floor level. Let me also indicate where I'm getting this information from. Right here, 600. All right. And what else do I need? I need the height of where my windows are going to be placed. So coming from the finished floor level up, 2,100. That's where the top of my windows are, and also the top of my wall openings. Around here, yeah. So I have some information to start me off. And then lastly, look at also what I have. I have the thickness of my beam. So I know my beam is 650. So I know my beam is 650. I know my my finished floor level to the underside of my beam, which is 2,100. And I know the distance from the ground up to the finished floor level. So these are 3 bits of information that I need. I need to start off knowing this, this, and this. 600 up, then 2,100, then 650. I'm going to start off with the south elevation here. Okay, let me go back to AutoCAD now. So let's discuss now what's the strategy for getting all this done, right? What's the strategy? So remember the last time we had already finished the floor plan, the roof plan, the foundation plan, and the site plan. So all my plans were finished the last time. So I'm going to take the plans and I'm going to take this floor plan and I'm going to use this. I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to bring it over here, right? I'm going to draw down a line to shut off that side of the screen. So I'm going to be working in this area here. Why did I bring this floor plan? Because this floor plan has the roof outline in a hidden line, and it also has the walls. So it has all the information I need, and it has the location of the windows. So first I need to identify, am I looking at my south elevation? Yes, these two correspond. How? Because I can see the opening here. I can see the opening here. I can see this window here. I can see that window here. And I can see this window here. Right. Very good. Now, let us proceed. So this line here now is going to be my ground line. So the first thing I need to do is I need to know, I'm going to offset up 600 from that. That's my floor line. And I'm going to offset up again 2,100. That is my underside of my beam. And then I'm going to go up 650. Okay. All right. So I got my 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. One is going to remain in outline, which is solid. That is my ground line. These 3, I'm going to transfer and put them as hidden lines. So we're going to reflect this line here. Right. That's a hidden line. Let's go back over to AutoCAD, and I'm going to match drop something from here, my plan. Now, I'm going to label these so that I always know what these lines are, right? So I'm going to go over here and grab my labels, which I already have. I'm going to copy them in now. my labels. Let me just put them into a proper position. So coming from the ground, we have the ground level, which is coming from the bottom. Then we have the finished floor level. Then we have the underside of the beam. And then we have the top of the beam. So these are my 4 critical lines that are indicated. All right. Good. Now what I'm going to now do is look at this symbol, section AA. What does this tell me? This tells me that I'm looking up, right? Now, how did I interpret that? Here you see section A, and it's like this. That means you're looking into the symbol. But before we start the section, we need to draw the elevation. It's going to be easier this way. So let us start off now and get this elevation drawn. Depends on the copy these lines around so that I always okay. So instead of me showing this, I'm going to create this in the full screen mode. I think that would be easier for everyone to understand. And then we can just reference the section when we're finished. So let me put these into the proper layers now. Because some people I did a whole set of magic. Abstract. Out there construction. It should be doors and windows. And I'm highlighting all of my window lines. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight my roof lines, which are these. So that when I'm looking down here, I know everything. I know the windows and doors are the cyan lines. I know the roof lines are these outer lines. And I know the wall lines here, as I'm touching them currently. So let's start by this. Let me just look back at the diagram. Here. I need to, all right, let me just do this. Up here, and this is going to be an overhang. And I need to find out this information. So I'm going to show this distance here. Right? So we know that this is 650. And we know that this is, I'm going to offset this up 200. Yep, that's that. And at this point here, I'll put a point, DP, change my point so that we can see it. I'm going to use point instead of 2, size 2. That's a point there. What happens at that point? At this point here is where I'm going to pitch my 30-degree line. 30 degrees. The interesting point there, 30 degrees there, because that's the angle that I'm going to be using to construct my roof. Okay, so I got that in. My 30-degree line there, started constructing my roof. Now, what am I going to do now? I'm going to bring this line, stretch this all the way across here to this other side. Stretch this line also all the way across to this point here. I can do the same thing there, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is, no, actually, I need to move this. I need to move this whole setup here. And this is actually happening up here. Yeah, that is happening up there. Right. I'm now going to trim these lines. Know where everything goes. So you can trim these lines right through here. Right. Yeah. And by doing that, I can remove these. The line that goes up are the outer lines. So this will go up here. You just put it back into full screen. I think I can work better. Smooth. So what are we going to do now? We're going to go down the lines from the roof point. These are roof point lines. I'm going to go in my construction line there so that you can see. So if I draw one line, then I'm going to copy it there. The 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Extend this and goes to there. And let's look at how this profile goes. This is one way that we understand the roof. So these lines are highlighted here. Look at how this relates to what's happening to understand the elevation. So if you look at that, let's play about this drama down there. It's gonna go straight. And this is going to go across. And then this is going to go. From here, we go back up. Gonna go straight. This is gonna come back down. Just like what we see. Then here is what we see here. Right? So we just transferring the information from the floor plan next to the roof over to the elevation. Hear that? And now I'm going to continue. We connect up there. And again, we're using the same 30 degrees. So you can copy this around instead of drawing it. Do something there. Yep. So it connects right to that point. So far so good. These yellow lines, we don't need them. Same there. So what's the next thing we need to do? We need to put in these windows. So let's go back and look at the specifications. All window sizes are specified on the drawing. Okay, so let's go back to the drawing. We're going to do offset down 1200. And this 1200. Oh, these are 700 windows. Just adjusting these windows in the block. What I did is I just stretch all my windows, so they're now 1200 windows. Okay, so these windows were apparently 700. Mistake on my part. So I have adjusted that now. The windows are 1200. 1200 windows, window openings. So in order for me to get these into the full size windows, I just need to create a square. So we already know it's going to be a 1200 square. And I'm using the command fillet. I'm using line. I'm using max drop, MA, max drop. I am not really using anything else, anything special. Just those basic commands to get this thing done. Control S. Don't forget to save regularly. All right. Now let us proceed. This door can't go past here, so I'm going to trim. Oh yeah, I'm using trim, TR to trim. That's another command that I use often. Now, what happens to this line here, right? This line here, this is going to be the inside balcony or the entrance to the patio. Not the balcony, the patio, sorry. And we need to find out how to put in these steps. So let's go back and look at a piece of interesting information. Now, to get in these steps, interesting. The distance from the ground to the top of the step is 450. That means there are two steps, total distance 450. So what we got to do? 1, 2, 3. That means we need to divide 450 by 3. But there are 2 steps. Okay, so let me explain why we got to divide it by 3. Because you need to get this face here, that face, and that face. Once we have those 3 distances, we can then connect and step. We just call here the going, and then this is the rise of the step in order for us to create the going. All right. So come back to here. So we go down there. And we go down. And we get what you want. Then come in here, all set 450. And then what I'm going to do, div, divide that line into 3. And I can just put that. Check my out there. So okay, just fill it my way in. Wait. It's correct. Let's check it. It's that to there, that to there. Okay, that to there. Here. Um, yeah. Yep. It's correct. How are we going to get in this pitch line here? Interesting. Well, the first thing, we need to connect a line from here to that distance. Distance of about 100. Offset the top 200 down. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to connect it here to this spot. Just fill it. Turn down here. And wanted. The step is in, and I now need to finish off the entrance patio. I'm not going to see this door line, so I'm going to delete it. But before, no, not yet. I'm going to show the inside, so I need to find it half. Then now I can delete this. And now I can column is going to be blocking the door. Now, what do I need to do? I need to tidy this up. How do I find this line? Now, so we know this point here. This is where the step is. And we know this point here. We're going to put a line and we're going to find halfway between them. This line here. Now this line here. So we have this line here. And we have this line here. We're going to put a line there and find the halfway point. Right? So it's a strategy. So I'm going to break the line here, there, yep, and now I'm going to fill it. Now, I need to put things into the proper layers. Put this in. Going to reference. Now, so far so good. We need to in the panels on the windows. So let's see how we're going to put that in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 by 4. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do, first thing first, to get this done, we're going to divide this surface here by 4. Do the same here, by 4. Okay. Good. Now, we're going to put a frame around this. So how much is my frame? I'm going to use a frame of 50. Now I'm going to offset these here. 5 mil pizza. Not too much. And so also one graphic. Just trimming it. Or trimming off the bits that I don't need. Good. Smart now. Oh, I need to trim. So, on the other side here. What's the window there? Luckily for me, I can copy this window. we'll copy, move it to that point. So that's my two windows in. From I need 650 from my beam, not 850. So what I'm going to do is going to offset 650. Right. So far, so good. Let me just put on this one here. Right. I think this is about finished in terms of drawing. Drawing aspect is finished. Oh, I'm going to put a frame on the door. Door there. That's about it. What am I going to do now? I'm going to hatch the roof and I'm going to label. I'm going to label the door, I'm going to label the window, and some dimensions. Right? Also, I'm going to hatch the ground too. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to hatch. Maximize this now. Hatch. From construction. What am I going to use? I need to label. Label the door. Label the door. All that. Door. What's the door size supposed to be? I'm going to look here. So that I'm not just labeling my stuff, calling up the sizes. External door 900 mil wide, right. So down all the information. And I advise my students to do that. Door, we call that external door. It's more descriptive and it lets the examiner know that you understand exactly what you're doing. Now, take this note, copy it up. all this. Square. Properties. And I'm going to change it. Text height. One, I'm going to match drop. Then I'm going to match drop it into so now we can see the notes are there. So I've called it my window, I've called it my door. Next, what's the next thing to call it? I'm going to call it my roof. Yes, your boy. We're going to call it the roof. Now, it doesn't give me any specifications to the roof. But what I've done, I've looked at other questions and I've taken the specifications from another question and I have it here. So I'm going to use this information to describe my roof, right? Call this roof covering, aluminum sheet. So this is what I'll be looking at here. Okay. Now this is going to be my fascia board. Board. And that's going to be 25 mil. 200 mil. Okay. Yeah, 200 mil. Cool. 25 mil thick. So those are all the notes that I need. I have over here my ground level, my finished floor, underside of beam, top of beam. So I have everything labeled on this drawing. Now I'm going to go and put on some dimensions. That's the next thing. Then I'm going to move on to the next elevation. Let's put, should we say? The important dimensions, set of notes. Now I'm going to put the scale onto the drawing. I'm going to copy this and pull this down here. What size is my text here for this? My text size is 400. 400 is the size. I'm going to call this building elevation 1. Okay. So that's building elevation 1 finished. And I remember them saying that they wanted this done at a scale of 1 to 15. So I'm going to put here 1 to 15. Now, 1 to 50 is a printing scale, but we draw everything on scale 1 to 1. So that doesn't mean that because I changed it here that it's at 1 to 50. 150 would be set up when you're about to print these drawings. All right. But for right now, that would suffice. Okay. So this is one elevation finish. We have another one to go. All right. Let's admire the elevation and see what needs to be put on before we move on. Oh, I'm going to place the ground. Arch. Let me grab the hatch from over here. And I'm going to establish. Okay, we grab it from here. Watch it. This rectangle. And there we have a ground level, a ground line. And we have a hatch that represents the ground. Right? So now we need to move on to building elevation 2. So where is building elevation 2 looking at? Building elevation 2 needs to be showing the stairs. So we need to produce an elevation that is going to be showing the stairs. That is what the question asks for. Let's revisit the question. Draw the 2 elevations that show the small concrete stairs. So we got one already. Let's show the small concrete stairs. And we need to look for another one. Show these stairs. I think we can do this one. This gives us an opportunity to draw another window. Yeah, so we're going to do that. So we're going to do the west elevation next, all right? Let's put this back to 100. This plan is 1 to 15. Still, we got to print that out. Anyway, let's move on. Let's now locate the second elevation, or discuss how we're going to set up the second elevation. I need to copy this. So I'm going to copy this out to this side, and then I'm going to rotate this. Rotate it. RO is to rotate, and that is ready to look at. Okay, good. Now, the same thing applies. I'm going to project the lines down, and as I project these lines down, I'm going to set up lines that would be the roof line, the line that is going to be for the walls, and the lines that are going to be for the windows. So start off with one line from the roof line. Here, I'm in my dimension there, so I'm just going to use there to put in everything, and then come back and sort my layers. I think it's quicker this way. So here. And this should be fairly easy. Just the fact that we know the heights and we know the roof angle, and we can pull lines from this joint over. That's actually what I'm going to do. So I'm going to grab this expression here. 1, 2. Yep, now I'm going to copy it from this point here, right here, and pick it in right here. Why did I do that? So that when I find where my go down the line from my roof line, which is here. apex of the roof here. And then the apex of this next roof right here. Hold that down. And where those, I'm actually going to extend next to there. Then it goes from the apex, then it goes back down right there. Right? So what I can do is mirror. There it is. Erase source object, no. And then I'm going to fill it back to there. Yep. Yep. Now I got to pull this side. From here and carry it over to this point. And see how that is set up? Beautiful. Beautiful. That's the roof in. I can trim. 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 Things and get them out the joint. Much better. I need to trim this right here. Good. Now, I know that this is a bathroom window that is going to be right here. And I know my bathroom windows are 600 by 600. It's a 600 square. I remember that. Okay. 600. Put it. These. So I can fill it here. I think everything is in it now. Yeah. These are my windows. So my bathroom window is in, and my bedroom window is in as well. Now let us clean up the drawing down here. If you don't, this line is going past the ground level, and we don't need them going past the overhang level. This line can go. So what we can do, we can copy this window, or at least the inside details. So go for copy, and we can stick that in right here. And just copy that right there. And now, let's try the interesting there. Can't even explain it fully. I'm not even going to try to explain that. But I would advise you to just divide the surface normal. That's my bathroom window. Looking all good there. And my bedroom window. So far, so good. Now I'm going to put in the hatch. Max straw. Hatch looking good so far. And I now need to put in the step. I'm going to project these lines down from the step up here. Yeah. I'm going to project these lines across. Or I can just copy them across so that I know where they are. Yep. I can map straw. Reference line, and I got my step in. So I got my step in. And what I can also do is I can project the notes that I need. So these are the notes that I'm going to put them in. And copy them and move them. I'm going to call up the concrete step. Probably do it in this one. Concrete steps. We just call this elevation 2. Slide the note across. You can slide the ground hatch too. Cool. 2. My elevations are finished. All I need to do is mention. Cool. So those are my 2 elevations finished. Elevation 1 and elevation 2 finished. Now, what do I have to do now? I have to create my building section. Now, so let's look at my section. My section is going to be cutting through AA. So let's save this progress. I check my checklist and make sure I have everything. So I have my 2 elevations. I have shown my ground level, my floor level, and my beam levels. Windows label, doors label, inside indicated, roof place and outline there, roof and fascia board label, the ground line indicated with a hat. Yep, done. And I've shown 3 dimensions. title bar, and scale added. So I think I have everything here for these elevations. Just going to put this in outline. What I'm going to do, put the roof in the outline there so that is fully expressed. Including the fascia board here in the ground level. So expressed. I think that looks good. Very good. Very good. Now, let us move on to the section. So I'm going to be cutting my section through A and looking in this direction. So I'm going to set back at the same exact profile that I have for my elevation 1. I'm going to set back at that profile. So as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this elevation down here, and I'm going to remove the parts that I don't need. Okay, it's going to make life a lot easier for me and probably for you all too. I'm going to copy this, put this down here. And I can get rid of the touch. I can get rid of the dimensions. Right. So I have removed everything what lines I need to project as I create this elevation. Not elevation, building section, sorry. So let's analyze this building section and focus on the lines that I need to project as I construct this piece of work. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove the bits that I don't need from this drawing, believe it or not. So let me project all these lines down on construction and then transfer them when I'm finished. So I'm going to be that's down there. That's a window I'm cutting through. All here, cutting through another window. There's some interesting. There's a door that you're going to pick up in the background. So I'm going to put that in. Put that on the door and the window there. So we got a lot of lines down there. All right. Got a lot of lines. Let's just focus on this elevation. No, sorry, this section down here. Let me just change the name. Building section one time. Let me just trim off what I don't need. Actually, I think I might need to move this title out of the way while I create the substructure. Let's look at this now. How am I going to create this section? All right. I know what to do. Firstly, I'm going to turn this off because I don't need my lines to be so bright. And what am I going to do? I am going to start by creating the foundation, and then I'm going to go up to the roof. So I'm going to focus on this area. Then I'm going to transfer that area over here. Copy that over here. Here, yep. And then after that, I'm going to go to the roof here and to the roof there. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So those are the areas that we're going to focus on at this time. But we need some specifications. So let's go back over here. This is where this information comes in handy. Very handy. Let's look at floors. So it says here, other rooms. So don't worry about this one here. I'm actually going to block it out. This one here, we don't worry about because we don't have a dance area. So we're not interested in that particular information. So I'm going to block that out so it doesn't confuse us. We just interested in other rooms. So let's just focus on the other rooms, what it tells us. It tells on 100 millimeter thick RC slab. So that tells us that our RC slab is 100 millimeter thick. That means that's our floor thickness. And then underneath that, you're going to have a 20 millimeter thick sand screed. And then underneath that, you're going to have a 280 millimeter thick hardcore base. And then that's the floor there. And then what we're going to do, we're going to have to find out where we're going to put our foundation. This down, let's start off here. So you could use line, I could draw a line. Probably draw a line here. Draw. Yeah. And now I'm going to offset that down 100. That's my floor thickness, 100. And I'm going to offset it down to 20. Yep. Set it down to 80. Yep. Here. That's how the expression there is going to look when it reaches the corner. It's going to go in like that. So the expression there is going to look. So these. So that is going to be treated. All right. So that there is the floor in, which is being held up on 280 hardcore or hardcore base. So now let us put in where I'm going to get my footing. So you're going to call the footing about around here. So offset 200. No? 200, 200. Rectangle. You can copy these footings now. And clean up the detail. This is the footing that I've just inserted. It's where the detail starts. Now, what this line doesn't need to go up. So I'll just clean that up. It stops at the floor, and again it stops right here. Our door on the inside, put a frame on it and show where the hinge is. So 50. 50. Show you the hinge going, okay. Mm-hmm. Come off the ground level. See that again. So that looks good. So far, so far so good. Now, let me now put in the material. So before I do that, let me into the proper layers. Mhm. Organize this one. Okay. That's going to be a reference layer. There. Okay. All right. So now I'm awfully quiet here, but I'm just thinking before I actually. All right. I think I got in all the general information, general lines where things need to go. But things always change. You know. Now, let's put in the concrete. So let's start off with that. Down here, down here. Here is concrete. Right? These are the areas where we're going to have concrete for sure. So let's go over here and call that here. Right. Here. Good. That looks good. Yeah. That's your concrete there. This is block work now. Change this. Okay. 75 is good. Let me just try 100. I'll stick with 100. 100 and the code is ANSI32. Scale is 100. In here and there. Leave that there for now. All right. Now we need to put in the core or the marrow fill. So I'm going to switch that. And that usually takes on an expression called ANSI37. And the idea is to try to get into triangles. That's what I'm doing. So when I get, that's probably, I'm going to leave it that way. What do I mean by triangles? This is what I'm looking for, right? So yeah, that would be the ideal thing. Once you can get triangles like that, that's ideal. But if you can't get it like that, you get it as close as you can. Yeah. Anyway, and all my time here trying to get that. represents the hardcore marrow, and then underneath that, earth. So I'm going to put in a random material and then match drop it to the earth, because we have the earth from the elevation up here. Yep, that's the earth. And then I normally just remove the bottom line to show that this is continuous. It just continues all the way. Okay. Now, this here is going to be my Sanskrit layer. Air sun, AR sun. The sun, that is a scale thing. I think that looks good. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a layer of damp-proof membrane that is going to go between the Sanskrit and the RC. So I'm going to offset the line for the RC of 10. Yep. And I'm going to divide this line here, the IV, into 20 pieces. 20 pieces, yeah. Actually, probably 40. The IV, 40 pieces. Good. And now I'm going to create solid fill. And then I'm going to array copy it. So it's going to be a solid. Yeah, that's solid. Now I'm going to go copy, CO for copy, grab the hatch, the solid fill, start with a displacement, specify base point, so we specify that. Then hit A, so array going to the array menu. Ask me how many I want 20. And I want to start there. Okay, good. I think, yep, I got it in, all in. Right. So that's my damp-proof membrane in. And let me take off my points there so that we can see that. Okay, so that looks good now. Now, what am I going to do now? I remembered in this drawing that this section comes through some windows, and these windows are 1200 millimeters square. So I'm just going to copy this window into position here. Yeah. My two windows in. I think that I can move from my section level to, my foundation level up to the roof level. Let's trim off this, but nothing goes out here. Nothing goes past there. Let's deal with one side at a time. And if we deal with the left side, I can mirror it and flip it over onto the right side. So I'm going to focus on the left side. No. What's happening here? So for this, let's look back at the specification. And what are they asking us? These specifications will be here at the roof line. They give us the rafters, 50 by 150 mil. So this part of the information is going to be needed for us. Wall plate, This part is going to be useful. Wall plate, which is 50 mil by 100 mil. Fascia board, 25 mil by 200. That's useful. And I think that's as much as you're going to get. All right. So let's see how this is useful, how we can then fill in the blanks and put in our additional information to complete this. Right. So let's start with, what do we know? We know this is going to be a wall plate design. And we know that this is going to be a design that is going to have a roof sheeting. So we need to give things some sizes. So I'm going to first work back. So this is my roof sheeting. I'm going to give that a size of, let's give that a size of, I'll go with 15. We'll go with 15. Yeah, 15 mil. And so that's the roof sheeting there. Now, underneath the roof sheeting, we're going to have battens or lavs. They're either called battens or lavs. Or they both carry the same purpose, just they have a different name. So that's battens and lavs. And what's the thickness? Thickness there is going to be 25. Okay. Now, what's going to come after those battens and lavs? Well, we're going to work with some tongue and groove boards. Tongue and groove boards up there. And we're going to put them in at 25 by 150 mil thick, right? So the thickness is going to be 25. Thickness of 25. Yep. That's that line. Then after the tongue and groove boards, which are the closed boards, we need to put in our rafter now. Our rafter is going to be 150 mil thick. 150. Good. That's it. That's it for you. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting. Let me move this now. Okay. What to do. We're going to come here and pull over this line, and now we're going to create our set of 50. They want the wall plate at 100. So you're going to find right here, and then offset 50 both sides. 50 to the left, 50 to the right. And then we're going to fill it, clean this up. X through that. Yeah, move this to the good. So that's my wall plate. Now, here's the little trick that I like doing. All right. I like to set up my rafters and my wall plate properly. So I'm going to grab the raft to here. All right. Yeah. Nice little trick that I like doing. Okay. Now that we have the wall plate installed, we're going to pull the wall plate here. And that is off this bit. Sorry, of the rafter. Just make sure no rafters to the 150. Yeah, please do 100. No? Is the fascia board, so I'm going to offset this 25. Offset that 25 in. Yeah. Now, if my fascia board doesn't exactly end up at depth of 200. Please forgive me. All right. And just go slightly over 200. My facial board there. That's in. So far, so good. And let me bring everything to the facial board. The facial board goes all the way up except to here. This now overlaps the facial board. And trim there. This piece overlaps the facial board. That overlaps the facial board by it's randomly I borrow that. Right. So that's how that would look. Now what's going to happen is that these bits are going to be removed. These since you are going to be working with your water construction. All right. So that's my wall plate that's in cyan. In the cyan layer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my tongue and groove boards. So let me start here. And just perpendicular. And going to offset. Let me just maximize that. Set now 150. Up, yeah, and then I'm going to copy all of this. Let's go. How much? 20. Now I'm going to hatch that. So I'm going to put a hatch in there. Get a nice hatch that will resemble good. Change your angle here. Oh, sorry, yeah, pretty decent. Now I'm going to copy this hatch. I'm going to copy it using array. Copy. Those two. So now the next thing that I need to put in is the buttons. Now I'm going to put in the buttons. Buttons are 25 by 50. So 25 is the thickness. So that means the cross was 25. So offset 25, 25. I'm going to array these. here, we'll put in 5. Yep. So they're all in them. My rafters, my tongue groove boards, my bottom, my roof material. Right, I'm going to hatch the roof material and it goes off. It hatch to put that in now. Just going to choose something that resembles galvanic. That's really what I'm doing. I'll settle for that. Just going for 15. I'll settle for that. Timber. So made that timber. Now, what I'm going to do is hatch in here, and in here is going to be concrete. And this we concrete. What happens if I bring that to here? Just leave it there. What else are we going to do now with this detail? Well, you need to hatch in here, and this is going to be bricks. That's the hatch. Not short that to those bricks there. Hatch in here. Those are going to be bricks as well. Bricks as well here. Short that. So bricks. And here's going to be a concrete. Concrete. At the top of the concrete, you're going to have your wall too. Right? So we're going to fit it here. If we have to this detail as I'm about to mirror the details. Okay. Let me just turn the details a little bit. Okay. No, I'm going to turn off this. These are the holes that the screws are going in. So just place them here to indicate that. Now I'm going to grab this expression, copy it over here. I think that we can get our our section out of this, and we can also get our section details from this as well. Yeah, we get many things from this. Let's see where this roof actually ends in the cut. Right. There. What that means is that all of here is going to be the roof sheeting material or the hatch. Right, the hatch. The roof sheeting material case over here. So, okay. The hatch and there's the roof sheeting material. Right. Then extend. So that's what it would look like, right? Also, we're gonna see some rafters as well. We're gonna see these rafters. These rafters are being right, and the rafter is 150 by 50. So this time around, I'm gonna offset 50 to get the thickness of the rafter. Where does my rafter end? We're gonna see this one, which is a wall plate. Here. Yep. Mm-hmm. Let me put these rafters into a different color here and there. That there will be a hatch, right? I want to break that. I'm going to offset this now. 600. Copy this one. Right. But before I do that, let's see what happens up here. If you don't, let's put a rectangle into the rafters. Use furniture. Make sure the copy things. And drawing lines fresh all the time. So, we'll just drop it there. And this would be both boards. Both boards here. Let me put it. So that's how you can do it. Once I get one of these set up, I can then copy it, right? That's the whole. So that I can copy the whole expression. Yeah. Just trim these bits. Oops. We're not really sure. I'm going to move over the drawing. Go over here. A little bit. Okay. Just editing as I go on. Every after we're going to put a new. So I'm going to give the rafters a different color. One bit. Now I'm going to be touching Okay, so that's it on grooving. Now use to blend the roof material. For a second, we'll hold short. now we can hatch in between the and that brings us to the end of our section. Now we got a label. Now, it's time to label. So the fascia board and the roof covering is going to be the same. And grab the note from here. Let me just see it quickly. I'm going to grab them from here. The road church there. Fucking shit. That could be the button, or known as laughs. They put common laughs. Those are at 22 now. All right. Yeah. Doctors. 150 mil. 50 mil. 600 centers. 600 centers. 600 mil space, right? What does that mean? I'll show you shortly. That means that the distance between each one of these is 600. That's all. There's all that. So I'll leave that there. What else do I need to put on here? I need to call it the wall plate. Down. This is a wall plate. 100 mil, 50 mil. Well, so we need to start calling it the notes for the cues for the kitchen. So down here, we can start here, concrete, here, 200, the 600. What's this now? This is wall. Block wall. 15 mm. It's now inside here. Got my notes. $200 and 18 hardcore base. So there are 4 oh, four base. This now will be the RC slab, right? RC slab, which is going to be 100 mil. On the called the damp-proof membrane on 20 mil screws. See right there. I might put the RC slab note somewhere else. That's pretty cool. This slab 100 mil, and then this is a window. So we're gonna call this one window. 100 mil square. Then what should we call upon this? Okay, the door. Internal door. Just this door. You know what? I can always measure it. So let's see how much is the door. 21, 100. 750. All this information is being called upon to the drawing. Last thing, what I'm going to do, what good heights on this drawing so far? This drawing is finished, and that's all the information that you would possibly need to get yourself a grade 1. Let's put it that way. I'm going to show. So this is all the information you would need. This is a section, but if I wanted to just focus on a wall section, I can just focus on this area right here. And that will be my area of focus. Here, where you'll be able to see from the foundation coming up, the concrete base, the block wall, where the hardcore base is, damp-proof membrane, the window, the beam, the underside of the beam here, where it starts, top of the beam, the wall plate, the fascia board, your battens, the rafters, roof covering, and lastly is your tongue and groove boards that I'm going to be using for close boarding. I'm going to call those up. Okay. Tongue and groove, tongue and groove, boards that are 150 mil by right. So that's it. That's everything we can possibly ask for in a section. Now, let me just turn on these and have a look at that. So this brings us to the end now of our 3 elevations. I've done my 2 elevations first, right here, elevation 1 and elevation 2. And I have also produced my building section. So let's just look at the model and compare. You can see model, you can see the ground, the floor on the inside, and we can see where we're cutting through the area that we can also recognize as part of the roof on the outside, which is here, which doesn't get cut. But I think it's a good job. Good job here. Let me just turn off my points. DDP. So this is a building section. What did we do today? We just defined building section. We defined building elevations as well. And we produced a building, 2 building elevations and a building section. We also labeled the building section. All the sizes that I use, I've labeled them. And I've drawn everything here and I've hatched where I think materials are needed to be shown. Oh, one last thing before I get out of here, I need to put on my 10mm plaster on each side. Hello. That is the plaster layer that you put on before you apply your paint. So this is the final look at my building section. Then we move over to the elevation. Then we move over to the second elevation. We can just clean up these joints now and then just check my checklist to make sure that I've done everything before I call this. Check my checklist here. So let me bring my checklist closer to the action. Tell me if I've done everything. So let's check. Elevations, 2 elevations. Did I produce 2 elevations? Yeah. Did I show the levels, ground, floor, and beam? Yeah. Windows label? Yeah. Doors label? Roof placing outline there? Yep. which is right here, which is right outline there. Yep. Fascia board label. Yep. Down here. So I can tick that also. Show 3 dimensions, 1, 2, 3. Yep. And the title and scale. Got to change the scale to 1 to 50. So straight off for my building elevations, I think I'm good. So let's look at my building elevation, my building section now. Let me grab this checklist and move this down here to the action. And let's have a look at what it has. One building section, did that. I show these levels, yep. Windows must be labeled, yep. Doors labeled. Roof cut, place in outline there, yep. Label roof and fascia board, did that. Okay, label the beam, the wall plate, the rafters, and the metal sheeting. Label the concrete footing, the marl. The marl is the same thing as the hardcore, right? The RC slab, the MP, which is the damp-proof membrane, and the screed. I've labeled that. Label ground line and indicate with a hatch. I've done that, which is right there. Show 3 dimensions. I've shown 3 dimensions and title right there. So I think I have done everything that this drawing needs to be considered complete, right? I can just move my checklist back up to here. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This was a long session, but it's a necessary session. Last time we looked at our floor plans. Now today we look at building elevations and building section. Next time, I don't know what we're going to be looking at next time. I got to review the material that I've done and come up with a topic. But again, I'm going to encourage you to practice everything. Know these details, know the hatches, know the symbols. First, if you don't know it, strip it down and look at it in small sections or in small bites. Like, for example, try to learn the foundation, what happens in the foundation. Learn and understand everything at the foundation level, and then go up then to the roof level, right? And then you can put everything together. Okay. That's it. So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I am out.